Hey cool moms, hey super moms, hey fantastic moms, welcome back to my channel. Wow, I love that. My name is Timba guys, but y'all can call me Tambi because we don't want to twist nobody's tongue, darling. Yes. Okay, so today we are gonna be talking about things I wish I knew before deciding being pregnant. Okay, yes. Oh, and then we need to also, please ignore that. That is just my work notes that I tend to go by every time when I need to do something. Okay, so since we are all working from home and our bedrooms have turned to be our office spaces, so today it's actually cold in Cape Town, hence I have upolonek. Okay, and yeah, so wow, I feel so down. Okay, let's try and fix the setting of this thing and hope that is all good. There we go. Yes, so as I've said, this is going to be, I'm gonna be mentioning 10 things I wish I knew before falling pregnant or deciding to have a baby, whatever way it went. Number one is falling pregnant or finding out you're pregnant is not a walk in the park. It is definitely not one. So I found out I was pregnant like 3 days after the day. 3 days after the whole shebang happened. There was just something in my head that kept saying, take a pregnancy test, take one, take one, take one. So I was like, okay, let me go buy one. The first one I bought at a garage. I did that one and it was negative. So I was like, oh hell, I'm not pregnant. And then I was like, something was like, don't throw it away. Maybe you look at it too early. So I put it in my pocket and I say, Kaya guys, I did it at a friend's place because I did not want to do it at home. Maybe somebody walks in or whatever happens, but I was not risking it. So I forgot to go to it, and then I went home. So while I was cooking dinner, Ekaya, for everyone, something in my head said, hey, joy. Something about it seemed like there was going to be different news, or I just wanted to make sure that I was not pregnant. And then I took it out and boom, it was positive. And I was like, no, maybe it's the pocket temperature that changed the whole shebang. There's no way I'm pregnant. It is not happening. I'm not trusting this. I'm gonna get myself another pregnancy test tomorrow and find out when I go to work. Okay, so story short, went to work, bought another pregnancy test. I did that one because I think I read somewhere says do it in the mornings. The early pee is like the correct pee or something. I don't know. I don't even know if that's true. Is that true? And then I went to work, bought one, did one, a toilet at work because guys, I needed to find out. So into the toilet at work, did one, and it was positive. And I was like, is this thing really happening? Am I really pregnant? Guys, I was like scared and kind of like didn't know what to do or what to say or how to feel about this whole thing. But one thing I'll tell you, I was definitely not happy. I was definitely not happy, but I knew, I was like, this, I think I decided that day that I want to be pregnant, but when it actually happened, I was like, no, I actually don't think I want to be pregnant. So what I did is I called baby daddy and I was like, hey, I'm pregnant. And he was like, you what? And I'm like, I'm pregnant. It's like, are you sure you're pregnant or we pregnant? I'm like, fuck, what do you mean we? I'm the one that's gonna have the baby. It's like, no, it's either you pregnant on your own or we pregnant together. And I was like, okay, whatever, we pregnant. And he's like, are you for real? And I'm like, yes, I'm damn for real. And then he was like, okay, we should link up after work. So story short, linked up after work and the rest was history, guys. We were both pregnant and yeah. And One thing about also finding out I was pregnant, it was I was worried about what people will say. I don't know, but it's just something, I think it's a syndrome we all have. I was like, oh, what will people say if I fall pregnant? And actually, guys, I'm a PK, so imagine it was like a whole thing, like I couldn't fall pregnant and it just couldn't happen. So I was like, what the hell am I gonna tell my parents? What am I gonna say? How did I fall pregnant? Like, guys, I was like, I can't be going through this. And yeah, so didn't care much what people will say, but I did care, but I was more concerned about my parents. What will they say, and what will the church say or congregation will say once they mention or go to their child is pregnant? Because they have to do that. I think so. Yeah, so the whole feeling and everything is just something about, it's not a nice road, guys. It's just not a nice road. Not nice feelings. Everything you're doing is just like not nice. Number two, things that I wish I knew before deciding to fall pregnant was that my body will change. I actually knew this, but my body just changed drastically another way than I thought it would. What happened is, while I was pregnant, my tummy was not showing at all. My figure was still on point. I had a flat tummy. Nobody would believe me when I told them I was pregnant. That is how slick my tummy was. It was intact, in place, and everything was still normal. I gained no weight until I reached 7 months. That's when my tummy started showing and everything, but throughout the whole months before 7 months, there was no baby bump, there was nothing. Even when I told my sisters that I was pregnant, they didn't believe me. They were like, there's no way you're pregnant, how come there's no tummy? And they even asked me, I think I told my sisters I was pregnant at 4 months and there was nothing showing. They even asked me, lift up your top, and my tummy was still intact. I still had my belly button, belly ring on. They were like, there's no way you could be pregnant but you still have a belly ring. I was like, I know, it's unbelievable, but I've been to the doctor, I've done everything, I even have scans, guys, but still this baby is not showing itself. I think it was waiting for me to tell my parents, because I only told my parents when I was pregnant at 7 months, because that's when the tummy was starting to show. And I was like, I cannot hide this thing anymore. They need to know. So yeah, so after telling my parents I was pregnant, that's when everything started changing. I started having stretch marks. Okay, I didn't notice my stretch marks under my tummy because my tummy was so big. After revealing to everyone that I was actually pregnant, like the most important people, that I was actually pregnant, like telling my parents, telling my sisters, and my baby daddy telling his mom, and everybody knowing Guti, we are gonna have a baby. That's when my tummy shooted so big. It was even big for my body. And then I had stretch marks on the sides of my sides of my stomach. And I actually used to struggle with stretch marks before even falling pregnant, so I knew I was gonna have stretch marks. But then when I didn't have it in the first trimester or second trimester, whatever you want to call it, before you reach 7 months, I was like, okay, maybe this thing is good for me. And then I didn't buy any tissue oils or anything to use for stretch marks until I was about to give birth. And then the nurse was like, have you seen how your tummy looks underneath? I'm like, what do you mean I have no stretch marks? She was like, no, baby girl, you do have stretch marks. They're right under your tummy and they are terrible. So after having a baby, dealing with those stretch marks, and also gaining weight, and how my tummy looked after giving birth, all the black marks and everything, guys, I just didn't want to get naked in front of anyone. Like, getting pregnant, undressing in front of anyone was a no. I always had my clothes on. I would only undress on my own because it just changed everything. My self-esteem was low. Like, guys, I didn't even wanna I didn't even feel sexy at some point. It was like whatever, uh whatever. And I had to even tie my tummy because I had a C-section. So I was like, hey, the only thing I know how I'm gonna maintain this thing is tying up my tummy usbopha. So I would take a cloth and a waist trainer, and together I would use them, both of them, and tie my tummy so tight that I couldn't even breathe. At some point my granny was like, no, there's no way that you should be tying a tummy, because first of all, you have an operation that needs to heal, and second, you are doing this too tight. So it's either you're gonna do this and not too tight, or you're not gonna do this at all under my watch. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do it too tight, I promise. I'm just gonna use a waist trainer, that's all I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna use the it towel that I was also using. And she was like, okay, cool, your clothes will not fit. My jeans were not fitting, everything was kind of too small, and I didn't buy any clothes because like I said, changes only started happening at 7 months for me. So during the whole time, everything fitted for me. My clothes were still fitting, so I didn't buy any new clothes. The only clothes I decided to buy was only later, and I only bought tights. And yeah, I think that's about it. And when I given birth, went back home, I've gained so much weight, and my jeans were not fitting. Everything I was wearing was just did not look right on my body, and I didn't want visitors at all because I just didn't like the way I looked. It affected me very much with self-esteem, confidence, and everything else around that matter. It even came to a point where I thought I was depressed, or I was depressed, whatever. But I just didn't want anyone to come see me. Actually, like, nobody came to see me, guys. Like, no one. They'd be like, no, don't come, it's fine, you guys don't really need to come, I'm all good. The only person that I actually allowed to come see me, but then it was only close people like family and baby daddy, and that's it. Everybody else was not allowed to come see me. I didn't want anyone to come see me that way. And also, oh, your nipples hurt. Amabele, guys, ababuhlungu like the fucking whole time. Now, I thought I was gonna have a problem with breastfeeding and having breast, because I didn't have breast at all. My breast was so little. So when I had baby, they grew, like they were big and they were full of milk, and they had veins. You could see that it was like painful to touch. Like, you don't touch because even when you have to breastfeed now, you're like, don't suck too much, don't suck, because it was like paining. And then when you have to go back to work and you have my nipples that are just dripping or leaking every time you're just walking around the house, they're dripping, and then you need to put breast pads, and then finally breast pads don't work anymore because you are dripping like nobody's, like an open tank. And then I decided to go to breast pads are actually expensive, and they were costing me a lot because I had to like buy a new box every week. And I was like, there's no way I'm buying a box of breast pads every week. Like, I'm buying nappies because it is too much and it is expensive. So I decided, since God has too much pads, and pads can contain a lot of liquid, so I was like, okay, let me cut up my pads. And then I would cut up my pads and put it as breast pads. Anyway, I was at home, so I was not going anyway. So I was like, cool, and nobody's coming to see me, so everything is. Number 3, things that I think that I should have known before falling pregnant was that I'm gonna have to change the way I eat. I'm a big fan of sushi, big fan of alcohol, and I had to cut those things out. Okay, it was with alcohol, it wasn't kind of quite like something that I didn't want to sacrifice at all. It was like, okay, cool, sharp, no problem, I actually can survive without alcohol. But then the problem was that I couldn't eat sushi anymore, and I was kind of hurt that I couldn't eat it, but it was quite cool. I got to eat other stuff, but anything that I used to enjoy to eat, I was told not to eat too much of it because it was not good. Because I remember during the first time of pregnancy, I used to crave a flying fish. That time there was a flying fish. I used to crave a flying fish so much. It was like something that I wanted to drink first thing in the morning every day. Trust me, it was insane. I couldn't believe it too, why I was craving a flying fish out of everything. So every morning I'll be like, I need one can so that I can survive. There was just this craving that I couldn't get over. And then my friend, what she used to do would be, because she knew Kote, I used to crave a flying fish every morning, she would actually do the decency of waking up and go buy one can for me. So every time I would text her like, I'm craving flying fish, she'd be like, I know, it's in the fridge, come fetch it at home. And then I would walk to her house and then I'll find it there and I'll be like, oh heaven. And I would drink it. I know it was not, I was not supposed to drink, but guys, I couldn't help. It was like, if I don't drink anything that I would drink, trying to substitute that I'm not gonna drink a flying fish just didn't help, until I drank a flying fish and it was like the thing. Until my friend was like, no, you are drinking too much of this thing, we are done, we are no longer doing it, we're gonna have to find something else that you're gonna have to drink and it has to do the job. If it doesn't do the job, you'll be sitting here and miserable like the whole day. And then there was it, the cut of flying fish. I think I stopped drinking flying fish at 2 or 3 months pregnant. It was that bad, I know. And then after that I had an addiction of oranges. I'm an orange, like I would buy I'm an orange or go and eat a lot of them, put them in the fridge, they need to be cold, and I would eat a lot of oranges like the whole damn time, every day. It was like everything I eat, there needs to be an orange after that meal, every time an orange after that meal. And then I was told to go to, I need to cut it because the baby might have jaundice, and you don't want a baby that's gonna bring you problems. So I also had to eliminate that. And then I had a craving of ice cold water that I wanted to drink throughout the day. And then I was told, you are drinking too much cold water, you need to stop it, because once you give birth, you are gonna be in so much cold that you're not gonna take it. So stop it, or it's gonna interfere with you having a during your pregnancy, between the two. But I was told to cut the cold water. And then I decided to develop a craving of ice cream that I used to call my baby daddy in the morning, and like in the 2 a.m. morning, and be like, hey, do you know what I feel like? I feel like ice cream. And he'd be like, you crazy, you mad, I'm not getting out of this bed to go get you that. And I was like, no, but I want it so bad, I can't sleep, or I can't do this. And he'd be like, no, you're not getting it, that's too cold for you to eat. Yes. Yeah. And then I was told not to also have coffee, which was also becoming a problem for me, that I couldn't have stuff that I actually enjoyed. It was terrifying. But then now I know. So when next time I decide I want to have a baby, I need to take these things into consideration. If do I want to let go of these things? Number 4 is gonna be morning sickness glory. The reason I call it morning sickness glory is because I never had any morning sickness. I didn't. Like, I don't even know how it feels like. People that have them actually envy them and be like, I wish. But then the way they explain it, I don't think I want to ever experience that. 5, what I wish I knew before falling pregnant was that it changes your relationship and it changes some of your friendships too. So falling pregnant, it's either you guys are gonna be stronger than ever, or you guys are gonna go your separate ways. It just happens. So with me, we ended up going our separate ways. That's how our pregnancy resulted our relationship in. But then with also with friendship, I think with friendship they also went south. I ended up having one friend or something like that. I don't know what was happening in that department. It's just that it changes your friendships, it changes everything. You and your partner grow apart because one of you guys grows more, or whatever, decides to think further than the other person, or you start calculating things financially or whatever, or you decide to have conversations about, okay, now this baby is here, this is what we should be talking about, this is what is going to happen, this is what we need to put in place. We need to think about savings, we need to think about medical aid, we need to start thinking about buying less clothing for ourselves, and making sure that if anything would happen, we do have emergency funds for the baby, or whatever. Or you guys decide to disagree, Kuti, the other person is actually doesn't have time for you, or you just become needy and the other person just doesn't understands it, or the other person becomes too scared and starts thinking too much and panics about this whole situation, and the only option for them is to exit and leave and think about it further than being in a relationship with you, but just thinking about it as just your friend or whatever, or you guys just are not sexually romantically in love with each other anymore, something like that, or you guys no longer have sex. You guys no longer have sex because your partner is scared to have sex with you because they think that they are hurting you. So there was no sex for me during my pregnancy, and I mean at all. I only had sex once, and it resulted me experiencing pain, and then my partner was like, no, baby girl, we are no longer doing this again until you have a baby, because me, I do not want to hurt you. It feels like I am hurting you because you are always experiencing pain. So that was about it. And yeah, you kiss a relationship goodbye, or you just kiss it. Here we come to another new chapter of our relationship, honey. Number 6 is no parent is perfect. We are all learning this childhood thing or motherhood thing as we go, and no one should actually make you feel small about how or what you are deciding on for your baby, or how you want to raise your baby, or what products you want to use on your child, and whatever works for you Wena, and your financial status, because you'll find ukuthi you decide ukuthi you don't want to use Pampers, you want to use Huggies, and somebody will and somebody will come up and be like, why are you using Huggies, why aren't you using Pampers, and Pampers is this okanye why are you using this type of bottle, why aren't you using this type of bottle, or why are you holding your child like this and not like this, why are you holding your breast like this, or why aren't you holding your breast when you're breastfeeding, why is the bottle too cold, or why is the bottle too hot, or no, your child is actually having this thing now, so you should use this. Don't listen too much to the doctors just know whatever they learn in the book. They don't know the actual thing about this is just about like old parents now, like your moms and your grannies coming to tell you no lo mntana unale nto udinga le nto not let iqolo kogqirha bazinto wethu la lo mntana uyalila apha tyisa umntana, and that time your child is only 1 month, but then you are told your child only is allowed to eat solids at 6 months. So do it your way, and your way is perfect. You are learning, and that's it. Just go about it. Each day is a new page in your book that you are writing, so Enjoy it, babes. Enjoy it. 7. Sleep does not exist. It does not. It does not after you've given birth, because once you're pregnant, you sleep like nobody's business. That's like just the whole thing you do. But after having a baby, sleep is just like, that's not there. It's like they told me they told me to sleep when my baby is sleeping. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. If the baby is sleeping, I'm gonna sleep. If the baby is awake, I'm gonna also be awake. But no, when the baby was sleeping, I had too much energy. I couldn't sleep. Like, I would lay next to the baby and be like, okay, I'm gonna fall asleep. But nothing would happen. I wouldn't fall asleep. It just wouldn't happen. And then when I wanted to sleep, the baby would wake up. So I was forced to also wake up and be with the baby. So, and then when you guys finally sleep at night, the baby decides to wake up at 2 a.m. crying like but nobody umbitileyo. And sometimes you would give them ibele, but it wouldn't help. You would like it doesn't help. And you are like, want to close it. You're standing like this, man, because this baby just does not keep quiet. I wish I knew that. That's like, I wish I knew. It was bad. But 8. The negotiation of the damages. Like, guys, I never actually even like thought about this, like even give it like a serious like thought. It would be so difficult, or what can I say, it's just a stressful process. It is. You're about to join 2 families that are totally opposite from each other. In my case, as I said, I'm a PK, so my parents are total opposites than my baby's daddy's parents. So the way we do things at home is different the way they do things at their house. So involving those 2 families, it was a situation, a difficult situation. So, because when I told my parents I was pregnant, alright, my dad was kind of like cool about the whole thing, which was very strange for me. But then my mom on the other side was not. And then my dad was not at home because my dad was preaching out of Cape Town at that time. So my uncle was called to come speak to me. So my uncle was sitting there and asking me questions. Who made you pregnant? Where does this boy stay? What job does he do? And is he willing to pay damages? And in how is this thing going to go about? And I was like, I don't know how this whole thing goes about, but from the discussion I had with him, we go there and you guys discuss what you discuss, and whatever happens. And my uncle's like, okay, yeah, that's true, we're gonna have to go there. And my mom was like, no, I see up. I was like, huh? Okay, what does this mean? My mom was like, I see up, Putin. Asuzoyenza lonto. Asuzophakama apha. You guys. Asuzophakama apha sikhaphe lo mntu siseParkland. Ebeziyela. Ayibo, guys. I was like, what do you mean? God, what's gonna happen then? Asuzoziyela. Into abazayenza bona bazosuka pha nonyanabo baze apha bazocela uxolo ubunyana wabo umithisile. Guys, it was like that. That's when the whole drama of negotiation of damages happened for me, and just let me just say, it's still dramatic. It's say whatever it is what it is. Number 9, you will need all the help you can get. Trust me. You will. Anyone that is offering to help you, agree. Like, super, like, just say yes. If they're offering to wash, agree. It's all cool. If they want to help you make the bottle, please, by all means, do so for me. Like, guys, every help counts. Like with me, I didn't know how to wash the baby, and then because I was like, do I put this whole small person in bathing, or what happens? Because I remember at Esbedlele, my midwife told me, no, I must not bath the baby because it's too early, or something like that. So she would come every morning, and I was so late. I was that lucky. I was so late for me because I didn't know. And she was like, are you good? Are you getting enough sleep? Did you eat? And she would take the baby, change the baby for me, and tell me what to look out for, like in the baby's poop and whatever. And if the baby poops, it tells you go to and all that stuff. So you would find out how many times that does the baby poop a day, and how to change the diaper. I'm using new things. Like, guys, it was the best 3 days of my life, especially that. And then when I got home, because that I needed to get rid of because it was starting to irritate me. But then I was told because and to me it was like, so when I finally decided to go to I can't deal with this thing anymore, I asked my grand to help me, and I was like, can you please help me wash my baby? Because I want to wash her hair, and I want to wash her entire body. Because to me, I feel like we are nuk. And then she was like, okay, cool, sharp, I'll show you how to wash the baby. Then my granny showed me how to wash my baby, and thereafter I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this thing tomorrow. But I have small hands, guys, so I was like, I'm gonna try this thing tomorrow, and if I can't, you're gonna have to show me another way of doing this thing. And then she was like, okay, cool, I'll monitor you as you wash the baby. So my granny monitored me as I was washing the baby, and also with everything else, man. Every help counts, as I've said. Every help counts. You need it. You need the help. You need the help. And number 10, what I also is, you don't choose what kind of delivery you're gonna give. It's either can be natural birth, or it can be a C-section. So with me, it was a C-section because it was an emergency birth. Because I went over my due date by a couple of weeks, and I was told to give it a week ago. So I was going on 3 weeks after the day I was supposed to give birth. And then I was told to go to a hospital. I was supposed to give birth on the 18th, right, of Jan. And then I was told to go to the hospital 10 days after the 18th, which was the 28th. So when I went to the hospital for a regular checkup, They did all the tests that they normally do, and I was given a go ahead to go home, that everything was perfectly fine. So as I was walking out of the hospital, I bumped into a doctor, and she was like, hey, hi, how you doing? Wow, how's the baby? And I was like, the baby is fine. And then she was asking me, now where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going home. And she asked me, like, when you're teeny that day. I was like, no, it was just a regular check up. They say everything is fine. And she was like, can I really like check something quickly? Can I have your book and can you follow me? And I followed her. She checked my book. She put me on this machine where they check the heartbeat, or if they call it that, I don't know what they call that machine, guys. So she wrapped around my tummy, and I was sitting there for like 30 minutes, and she was going back and forth, going to a scan. She asked me which doctor did I go to a scan. I was like, yes. And she's like, which doctor helped me? And in I was like pointing out this one there in that room, this one there, this one. And like she was combining everyone that I spoke to that day. And she was like, please explain to me, how are you guys releasing this person to go home? And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, I'm sorry, is there anyone you can call to bring you your bag, because we're gonna have to deliver your baby? And I was like, oh no, you are not delivering this baby. No, not today. I am not ready. And she was like, we have to, or the next time you come here, your baby will be normal. And she asked, didn't you feel any pain? And then I was like, nothing unusual. And that's when I called my sisters, like, you need to bring me my bag because I'm about to have this baby. And I was a girl there with my long nails, with my nail polish, everything was popping. And then I was told, the nurse was told to cut my nails, remove my nail polish and everything. They were asking me, when last did I eat? So now I was like, I last ate like an hour ago or 2 hours ago. I couldn't remember but basically by that time I was going home. And she's like, okay, cool, then that should be fine. And I'm booking your room. She's calling, she's making all those things, and I'm like sitting there like all confused. I'm like, what the flip is happening? This baby better not die. I'm not prepared for this baby to die. So everything, Jay was like, ooh, okay. So that I called my baby daddy and I'm like, hey nigga, we about to have a baby. Come to the hospital. Just say my name at the front. Probably they don't know where I'm going to, but my sister's also on the way. Probably you guys will meet each other when you guys get there. And then I'm like, don't try calling me, my phone is gonna die. My battery was like dying. I even said, I'm calling you because my phone is gonna die, my battery's gonna die, so don't try calling me. Get here and ask whoever you need to speak to. Maybe they'll direct you to the right place, and I'll see you right after everything. And then they took me to a theater and they cutted me all up and took the baby out, and the baby was healthy, was fine, was big, everything was perfect with her. And then, guys, I'm so grateful for that doctor. But imagine if I went home and then the next day I was given to come back like a week after that day. And then imagine being told, I'm sorry, but your baby passed away. Oh, and it's about trumps because the body has already went through the changes. Hey, I was gonna be in my pits. I was really gonna be on my pits. Okay, guys, so that was the 10 things I wish I knew before falling pregnant. And if you like this video, please like and comment, and please subscribe, and tell your friends, tell other friends, and tell other moms, tell other moms. The coolest mom is in the streets, darling, and that they are welcome to join my house each day they want. And share your stories with me. What things you wish you knew before you decided you wanted to be a mom, or before you fall pregnant. Things that you wish you knew before you fell pregnant. please engage with me down on the comment section. I will really appreciate it. Until next time, mwah, thank you, Janet Handa. Bye.